Drew Barrymore can officially say she's been kissed by the ever-so-handsome Matt Bomer, and not just once, but twice in fact. Talk show host and former child star experienced yet another flirty and fun on-screen moment that left both her audience and her guests in stitches, all while reinforcing that her daytime show is one of the most spontaneous and joyfully unpredictable platforms on TV today. It all happened during the April 4th episode of The Drew Barrymore Show, when Matt Bomer, along with his mid-century modern co-stars Nathan Lane and Nathan Lee Graham, stopped by for an interview. The segment was supposed to be about the play they're promoting and the experience of working together on stage, but before the conversation even took its first official turn, it was clear that the chemistry between Barrymore and Bomer was going to steal the spotlight, again. Drew, now 50, beamed with her signature warm energy as she introduced the three actors to an enthusiastic round of applause. You could feel the anticipation in the room, not just from the audience but from Drew herself. She's known for being disarmingly authentic, often wearing her heart on her sleeve and creating an atmosphere where celebrities can let their guard down. And that's exactly what happened when Bomer stepped onto the set. As each actor made their way toward her, embracing and smiling, it was Bomer who chose a far more flirtatious greeting. With a boyish grin and a twinkle in his eye, the 47-year-old heartthrob approached Drew and rather cheekily asked, should we kiss? There was a pause, the kind that hangs in the air just before something totally unexpected and hilarious unfolds. Without missing a beat and clearly enjoying the moment, Drew replied in the affirmative, and the two went in for the kiss. It wasn't staged, it wasn't exaggerated, just a warm, natural moment between two friends with undeniable affection for each other. After the kiss, they broke into laughter and quickly embraced, both visibly amused by their own spontaneity. "It's the only action that I get," Drew said, deadpan and with impeccable comic timing. The audience burst into laughter. But that wasn't all. In true Drew fashion, she added a hilarious postscript. "And I just ate Casio e Pepes." Her humor, raw, self-deprecating, and always genuine, lit up the room. Without hesitation, she reached over and dabbed at Bomer's lips, clearly concerned that she might have left a bit of pasta sauce behind. Bomer, completely unfazed and just as amused, chuckled and reassured her, "Same, by the way. I've been married for years, so same." Quip, referencing his longtime marriage to publicist Simon Halls, added yet another layer of humor and humanity to the moment. It was a scene only Drew could orchestrate, unscripted, full of heart and packed with just the right amount of flirtation and charm. As the two made their way toward the set, still laughing and teasing, Drew, overcome with delight and perhaps even a little dramatic flair, collapsed to the floor in mock hysteria. She lay flat out, giggling uncontrollably as Bomer extended a hand to help her back up. "You might have to give her mouth-to-mouth," Nathan Lee Graham chimed in with perfect comedic timing. The room erupted again. Without missing a beat, Drew shot back, "He usually does." The repartee between everyone on set made it feel like a living room hangout more than a formal talk show. "I had to get that out of the way," Bomer explained as they finally settled into their seats, still catching their breath from the laughter. Nathan Lane, ever the comic genius, didn't let the moment pass without landing his own punchline. "Would you like to be alone?" The timing, the tone, and the camaraderie among the group elevated the moment into something far more special than your average celebrity interview. As the conversation began to take form, Drew, never one to hold back, made a humorous confession. "Matt and Andrew Rannells are the only people I've been lucky enough to have a smoochy toodles with on this show," she said with a sly grin. Lane, clearly tickled, couldn't resist adding, "Well, you've got to move on from gay men." That prompted an even louder round of laughter, and Drew responded with her usual candor, "I'm not giving up gay men for anything." The sentiment, while hilarious on the surface, was deeply Drew, inclusive, open-hearted, and delightfully offbeat. Graham chimed in supportively, echoing, "Me neither." The entire moment was like watching friends at brunch, cheeky, unfiltered, and loving. Then came a confession that felt both funny and relatable. "I'm always barking up the wrong tree," Drew shared, her voice tinged with that familiar mix of vulnerability and humor. "Every time I'm attracted to a guy, he's gay." There was laughter, yes, but also a shared understanding. Drew's always been someone who lets the world in on her awkwardness and imperfections, and it's part of what makes her so universally beloved. She's never tried to be the picture of perfection. Instead, she owns her quirks, her missteps, her longing. And in doing so, she gives everyone else permission to do the same. What made this playful kiss so noteworthy wasn't just the act itself, but the long, charming history leading up to it. This wasn't the first time Barrymore and Bomer had locked lips. Two had shared an earlier on-screen smooch back in December 2023 when Bomer was on the show promoting his Showtime series Fellow Travelers alongside his co-star Jonathan Bailey. That episode had its own level of delightful chaos. Drew had joked that she and Bomer had kissed the same man. That man? Andrew Rannells. The layered history of kisses, connections, and charismatic chemistry between Drew and her male guests made this moment feel like an ongoing story rather than an isolated incident. Back in November 2023, Drew had shared a playful kiss with Andrew Rannells during an episode focused on public displays of affection, the do's and don'ts specifically. That segment had already gone viral due to the unfiltered honesty and lighthearted energy Drew brings to every topic. Fast forward to June 2018, long before any of these recent lip locks, and the connection deepens. That year, Rannells and Bomer shared a kiss during their joint appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. It was spontaneous and cheeky, much like the tone of their other appearances. So by the time December 2023 rolled around, Drew and Matt were practically overdue for a smooch of their own. "We should round it out," Bomer said with a grin that suggested mischief and friendship all in one. That's when they kissed for the first time, sealing the moment with laughter, applause, and yet another notch in Barrymore's growing list of spontaneous on-air moments that blur the line between talk show and heartfelt comedy. What makes this all so appealing isn't just the idea of two attractive people kissing on camera. It's the tenderness underneath, the mutual respect, the playful boundary pushing that comes with genuine friendship and comfort. It's knowing that these aren't moments designed for ratings or shock value, but rather organic sparks that stem from real rapport. For Drew, these moments reflect the woman she's become, someone who's lived so many lives, from childhood fame to Hollywood it girl to mother, author, producer, and talk show host. Her past is marred by chaos and recovery, resilience and reinvention. She's someone who speaks from scars, not wounds, who jokes through the pain but never hides from it. These seemingly light-hearted kisses are, in their own way, little acts of rebellion against a world that once tried to box her in. And for Bomer, who has carved out a powerful and authentic career while living openly and proudly, the shared kiss with Drew is a reminder that connection doesn't have to fit into narrow categories. It's possible to be playful, platonic, and emotionally generous all at once. There's freedom in not having to define every interaction. By the end of the April 4th episode, the kiss had already become the stuff of internet legend. Clips circulated across social media platforms, with fans swooning, laughing, and celebrating the easy chemistry between Barrymore and Bomer. Some fans commented on how refreshing it was to see adults simply enjoying each other's company without pretense. Others praised Drew for continuing to bring joy, chaos, and realness to daytime television. For a genre often criticized for being too sanitized or scripted, the Drew Barrymore show has managed to stand out as something different, messy, magical, and completely unfiltered.